Good morning from my stone house renovation on the mainland, what I like to call the Owl House. If you want to know what that's about, just look at the very first episode I ever put on YouTube. I'm having fun this week doing carpentry on my own for the first time. For those of you new to my story, I'm still waiting for the National Electricity Company to hook up my house properly. And so I'm on sort of temporary electricity with only 2 plugs for the entire house. So one of those plugs has this coming out of it. And of course, in order to get my electric roller on the garage up, I have to run an extension cord from there back into here. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm really glad that I happen to have this garland light that you can see here. It goes all the way around the entire house. It's 50 meters long. I had it because I used to organize exhibitions of local products, and that means one of the 2 plugs at least can light up the entire house. But there's no subtlety in the lighting. It's either on or off, which is why you will often see me in a dark kitchen in these videos until I get this sorted. There's nothing I can do. It's been since January 2000. They called about 3 weeks ago and assured me it would happen any day now, just like they did 3 months ago and 9 months ago and 15 months ago. I'm gonna go clean the garage, I think. I'm gonna go open it and see what's involved because I really don't know. I know that there's a big chunk of cement in there. So if I can get around the cement, then we'll see what else we can do. Yeah, it's still pretty bad, but at least I can fit more in here now. It's not that bad. I want to be able to access from here easily, and that's I accomplished. These wooden benches are made of African iroko. They feel like lead when you lift them up, they're so heavy. They actually came as a set with the table that I turned into my central kitchen island. Each bench wasn't long enough to stretch the 10 feet of the oak dining table, but the 2 together side by side work really well. But I love these. They look like they've had a haircut. I have been getting a little bit frustrated with the situation back here, so I'm gonna make an effort to get at it. This wood is blocking everything on this end and on this end. I'm ready to get this room up and running as a bedroom. Put a curtain on the window and start sleeping back here. But before I do that, I have to get rid of this wood. At least cutting the lengths so I can get it out of the middle. I'm not tiling. My tiling career began and ended with the shower stall. I'm gonna get to it, but it'll have to be later this summer. camera, jump. I'm really having a hard time getting motivated these days that I'm here at the big house. There's so much to do. I'm overwhelmed. Today I got my favorite work pants on, hoping that they would help motivate me, and I just need to get to it. I'm hoping just to get some of the back cleared. The painter's gonna be here in 3 weeks. Cutting butter next to the African Iroko that I've been using the same saw for. Oh, this is going to be so much more pleasant than I had anticipated. So a lot of people seem to be having trouble understanding what's going on with the house renovation and my life on Kea. So Kea is right there. The island in the back. The one in front is Macroniso. And then there's Labrio. It's really close. So it's not very difficult to combine these two lives. Okay, I think I have everything. Right angle, marker, stainless steel screws, primer, and just in case I might need this. Wish me luck. Yesterday I got the boards cut roughly to length so that it would be easier to deal with. Good morning. Today I am going to get these boards in place. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, but I have watched a lot of YouTubes and I do have the right materials. So let's see what I can do. I mean, how difficult can it be? I think I'll start with this one, this board. Get that lined up, get it screwed down, and then work off that in both directions. This little bit here, and then the rest of the floor there. I'll use glue in the joints. I'm just a little bit worried that it does this, that it buckles. It's not the greatest quality wood, and it was obviously meant for ceilings because it will have a ridge in between boards. But I don't really care about that. This is going to be a storage area, and it might have a mattress over in the corner there. There's more than enough room for a good sized mattress if somebody wants to use it as a sleeping loft. And then the idea is that the door here goes out to the veranda, but it opens outwards. And the reason is that it will be a perfect place to bring in the chairs or table, lights, whatever you have in there that you don't want to stay out in the rain or in the winter can come in here and be stored in this little area where I'm sitting. So basically I'm making a sandwich, and then there will be a trim piece that covers up all of that. This would have been more appropriate for the top. These are wide planks that do not have seams in between them, but it's okay. I don't mind. It'll be fine. This corner stuff, so short end on top, long on the side. In other words, like this. That's gonna be a really nice finish. These are for barn doors, and it wasn't very expensive wood, so they might not be barn doors that last for a lifetime, but for the time being it'll be fine. And I'm going to make a sandwich with 2 of these as well. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. It's certainly false economics to be going with this wood for the barn doors rather than just going to buy more wood, because I know how much work is going to be involved in order to make this work. But it doesn't matter, and I don't want to waste it. It's a lot of wood. Yesterday I cut it in half, so at least I can store it in the corner. It doesn't completely block this. But then the last big thing that remains in here, besides the painting, which is a no-brainer, is the floor. And that's going to be pretty straightforward as well. I have to cut some of these boards and get them back in on a level and flat way and secure them down. I need to put some padding in there, and then there's going to be hardwood flooring. I think it might be engineered hardwood flooring, only because I really don't have the height in order to match the marble. The flooring needs to be quite thin. Anyway, we'll see. I had hoped to do real hardwood because it's such a small space, and but it's still pretty prohibitively expensive right now for me. And that's something that could be changed out later as well. Especially now that it's summer, I am so ready to get back here and be using this as my bedroom as it was intended. And that will also motivate me to work on the garden, because the garden is now a junkyard. And I'm just looking so forward to being in bed in this little alcove and looking out into this beautiful little garden. I've been watching so many YouTubes about tiny gardens. And of course, the more you learn and the more options you see, the more difficult it is to make a decision. But I'm thrilled that the hybrid lemon bitter orange tree is thriving. And the other one is surviving, which is more than I could have asked after a bulldozer split it in half. There was a big conversation on my channel earlier this year about surveillance cameras for the outdoor area back here. Until now, I haven't done anything about that because it's still a junkyard. And I have really mixed feelings about cameras. I really don't want them in my life. It's one of the reasons I began living the kind of lifestyle I live in, the places I live. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. This liquid glass stuff is a riot. It's the first time I've ever seen the directions on a can say, go consult the internet. It doesn't say anything else. It doesn't say drying times. It doesn't have anything else except the great advice, and it's stated in a funny way. Use your imagination, internet, and YouTube for ideas and application methods. That's what the directions say. Smells like cat piss. I'm gonna get 2 air bubbles in it. One coat's gonna be enough. So I think I'm just gonna keep tipping them over and over like you do with candles and building up the layer upon layer. Okay, so here we have 30 leaves I dipped them repeatedly. It made absolutely no difference. My God, the whole day went to this. I hope it works. They paired up nicely. I think they make really nice earrings. But it's only the beginning because the liquid glass did work, as you can see. But they're still quite flexible. Kind of just letting it take on a life of its own and just see what happens. There's really no preconceived ideas about what this is going to be. They might not be earrings, we'll see, but I just like the way they do pair off nicely. Okay, pretty exciting stuff. It's 3 p.m., so I have to stop pounding. And what I will do is start working on the trim, because that doesn't make noise. And now that this edge, these hands, now that this edge, and this edge are finished, I can go ahead and start putting the corner trim on that, which is going to make all the difference. Logically, I'd start with that one, but I'm impatient to see how this looks, so I think I'll start here. And that only needs one right angle, which I don't have much experience cutting. So that's new. I bought a miter box, or the kuti, I think they call it. I'm gonna call it a day. I can't make noise at this hour, and it's impossible not to make noise. But pretty happy with as far as I got. This is not glued yet, just clamped in place. But I think it looks great. The whole thing is going to be siliconed in the seams, siliconed with white silicone, and then the whole thing will be painted out white. And behind this, underneath here, will be the single track for mosquito net. I need another piece of this corner, but tomorrow I can do this end. And then I'll cut off all of these ends and continue around this corner with the corner molding. Well, it's great because the painter needs to paint this. He needs to come and stucco and prime and paint, and I did not want to be doing this while he was here, so I'm really glad I've got it started. Of course, being the amateur I am, I cut it too short, so I'm going to put a little nog in there. Try to cover it up once it's painted. I don't think you'll see it. Oh, dragging Frank Jr. up here was well worth the effort. quite managed to finish it, but you can see why I wanted to do this before the painter comes. But it looks good. I'm just glad to get the bulk of it done. And there's a little bit of trim to go there. There's a little bit of trim to go here. And then there's that side here. But this looks great. And the corner looks good. I'm pleased. It's all gonna be painted out white, so any flaws will be eliminated. Now I need to find my cat. I don't see her anywhere. And I have a feeling that she's gotten the idea that I'm packing the car to get to the island. And she doesn't really mind the ferry, but I don't think it's her favorite thing in the world. Cats aren't notoriously good at traveling. Who knows where she is? Ah, I see her. There she is. She wasn't hiding at all, and she's listening to me. Especially during the summer, I need to be on Kea, where the business is, and I'll be going out just in an hour or so. It's a 3-day weekend. It's going to be a big one, and we'll see. Going back and forth seems tiring to some people, but I really like it. I'm getting what I need in both places, which I wasn't getting before both places existed. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. For example, here in the big house, the water is crystal clear, clean, and available in plenitude. I can jump in the shower anytime I want. I can drink out of the faucet. It's very different than Kea. On Kea, the water is held in cisterns. It smells nasty, it looks nasty, and it tastes nasty. You obviously wouldn't drink it, but I don't even like showering with it. And each place has things that the other doesn't, and I'm just enjoying the combination of both. Okay.